What's creepier the more you think about it? The amount of people out there who intentionally killed a person or two which went under the radar and never got caught. Flowers. They are essentially plant genitals that we like to cut off and put on display. The amount of living things separate from us that are inside our body. Furbies. Most love songs. Beauty pageants for kids. Men making laws/decisions regarding women's bodies. Adoption. You literally have to pay for a kid. You are paying for a child, and the younger they are, the more they usually cost. Newborns are more expensive than teens. It's never rubbed me the right way. Communion. Especially if you believe in transubstantiation. How you can turn a certain age and magically be able to do something you could not do literally a day ago. A warm seat in a public toilet. Cheese. The fact that our lives could just be over any second. Like I could just die right then. What if every creature is just a mind trapped in a limited body, and without this mind we are just meat? The human brain and the numerous, incurable things that can go wrong with it for no reason at all. Adults are just big children that are raising little children. The unfathomable size of the universe. Its extreme emptiness. And the unknown reason why anything exists at all. How modern medicine exists. The amount of people that had to suffer and be given all these different chemicals or drugs is astonishing. Some of it was clearly done without consent and imposed on others. Imagine chemotherapy. Hey, so we're just going to slowly kill you and hope that the cancer dies first. Chilling. The depths of the ocean. Circumcision. Minecraft. You live alone in a world where everyone that looks like you is a zombie or skeleton. The last man on Earth heard someone knocking at his door. A bunch of people ran by. Brains called the brain. How mainstream the fetishization of high school-aged girls is. A black hole. Time before time. Two objects that are the same in two different places in a dark room with one man that is also in two places in the time before time. That has been my nightmare since I was 8. I don't know how. Just started learning about quantum mechanics and am even more scared. The concept of an eternal afterlife. Owning a pet. Fetishes. They serve no purpose, but lots of people, including myself, have at least one, and they come in a near infinite variety. Epstein didn't kill himself. That in Wonder Woman 84. Diana's dead boyfriend's consciousness transfers into another guy who doesn't even know what is happening with him. And then Diana sleeps with him while knowing that the guy who is acting as a vessel doesn't know what is happening. So Diana basically *P someone, and no one in mainstream media actually noticed this. Getting old. Based on how we've responded to climate change so far, I'm fairly certain we won't do anything about the impending automation crisis until it's far too late. Some people stand to gain too much wealth, which will inevitably make it back to PACs and think tanks writing op-eds. Poverty will get insane. It's difficult to predict which careers will be hit. If you really want to blow your mind, go look into the success with AI lawyers. We have let a few incredibly wealthy people convince a significant amount of our population to ignore scientific consensus about our planet literally becoming less habitable. It will take even less to convince some to ignore something this abstract until their jobs are already gone. The universe. The fact that we all have spines and spinal cords. There are two possibilities in the universe. Either we are entirely alone, or we aren't. Both are equally terrifying. The ocean. Who knows what else could be lurking in the deep blue? Perhaps a dormant world-ending creature of doom and peril. Yeah, I'm kinda scared of the ocean. A few things come to mind. Most of mine are a bit cerebral, so I'll apologize in advance in that regard. 1. If you're not being born, you're heading to the grave. This is absolutely true for everyone. It doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds after birth or 10 decades you're on the clock. 2. There is no proof of a soul, yet every single culture and religion, irregardless of distance apart, believe in one form or another. Did our ancestors know something we don't? I'll acknowledge that this isn't super creepy at first, but the more I think about it, the stranger and creepier it gets. 3. What makes us us? On the most basic level, we're not much more than a collection of electrical impulses in our own nervous system. How did we go from a collection of impulses to being a distinct sentient intelligence with a complex personality? Where does sentience come from? Is it genetic? Is there a way to remove sentience? The more I go down this metaphysical rabbit hole, the creepier it gets personally. 4. There are, according to the FBI at least, anywhere between 25 and 50 active serial killers in the US right now. Cults. I've always found pregnancy creepy. There's literally a baby growing inside a person, and that person must go through a traumatic experience to get it out. Oh, and our entire human race depends on it. How much porn focuses on the barely legal teens and how much porn loves step-siblings. It's so gross. Hell, just how much sexuality is pushed on children from the moment they can walk. Imagine this. You are placed in a circular room with a 30-foot diameter. Across from you is a carbon copy of yourself. You are both at the exact same millisecond in your lives. You are standing equally distant in the room. You are intaking the exact same sensory information as the other. Since the room is symmetrical. Here's the question, could you ever do anything different than your double? Seems like a dumb question at first. But think about it. You'd be perfectly mirrored. If you tried to poke your double, you'd poke each other in the same spot. If you threw your shoe at the other double, so would they. The shoes would logically hit in identical ways. And fall in perfectly symmetrical spots. You could run at each other. And you'd collide in a perfectly symmetrical way and fall on the floor in exactly the same way. Obviously. The counter-argument to this is theories based in free will and randomness in physics. But assuming the world is a stagnant environment, it would be an amazing thing to witness. Eating eggs. The concept of the Umwelt. A particular animal's sense experience of the world as being entirely separate and distinct from human experience. We have 5, plus a few more, main senses. But other animals see additional colors of light. Sense the Earth magnetic field. Echolocate. Etc. We have no idea what that would be like. In whichever direction you're not looking. There's just a massive group of prop people and stagehands setting up the next shot in the movie that is your life. The human mind, the fact that we can think about stuff like black holes is way creepier than a black hole itself. Everything will die. Humanity. Animals. The planet. The Sunday and everything else. Eventually. The death-to-birth ratio will catch up and more things start to die, and making new things just won't support or last long enough for more of itself to repopulate. Greater infinities. There are an infinite number of fractions between 0 and 1. There are also an infinite number of fractions between 0 and 2. Which is a greater infinity than the one between 0 and 1. Time. Think about it, or better yet don't. Time is an illusion. 1 hour with a good friend feels like a minute, and 1 minute with your hand to a stove feels like an eternity. Time is a concept of human perception to understand entropy. The heat death that decays all energy and matter in the universe. Entropy is constant and unwilling, but time isn't. 5 to 6 feels like forever, 18 to 25 feels like a blink. If this is what we've collectively set our lives around, and we know it's war against us and our inept perception of it, then why do we waste it? Nothing can buy time, but we waste it for others to eat out of fear. $12 an hour isn't worth 1 billion cells, but our biological weakness has been exposed and exploited by our own to subjugate us. We never have enough time and it's running out. But don't think about that, just look at more stuff on Reddit and forget about your dread. Life is but a dream, but we will all wake up. We know more about space than the ocean. Scientists estimate that less than 5% of the Earth's oceans have been explored. In fact, we know more about the dark side of the moon than we do about the depths of the oceans on our own planet. Most dating norms. Playing hard to get / playing games. Online stalking your date to think of the perfect things to say during the date. Saying how you can never survive without them. Making big gestures in public, which forces their reaction to be pleasant. Borderline psychopathic and creepy to me. Dying. We all live these lives and work really hard to get somewhere, and all we do is just die. No way out of it. And we have no idea what happens. Earwax. I don't know, but the thought that it is being produced and stored in my ear holes is just creepy. That we exist. Why does anything exist at all? Why is there something rather than nothing? How my phone seems to know what I have thought and not spoken about. Childbirth. Yes. It's a miracle and creating a life. But it's also another living thing violently exiting your body and a major medical event you have little to no control over. How only we will ever truly know our thoughts and feelings. Interpretations of the world visually, emotionally, mentally. No matter how much we try to describe it to someone else or how close you are to another human, it's still just you in so many ways. Busta's relationship with Lucille. Also Motherboy. Advertisements where they pretend the company cares about you or believes everyone deserves the perfect, insert product here. Thanks for watching.